Okay, deck costs. You can put your data in when you're ready. Get back to me. Here's the scatter plot. Again, I'll go through the steps. Second y equals. So I've already done this. L1, L2, zoom 9. Didn't. What did I not turn it on? What did I do wrong here? It's not turned on. Turn it on. Zoom 9. Okay. All right. So clearly we got to re-express it. Now, so what am I going to do? Well, I could take a log. For some reason I tried square root. This looked like a square root type of problem. Maybe I tried logs first. Um, so, you know, just for the heck of it, let's try logs and see how it looks. Maybe I did logs first and then I went with square root. So I'll go to stat and let me go up to L3. I'm going to clear this out. Okay, so I'll do the log of L2, second 2. Okay, and again, just let me to reassure you so you know what's going on. You can see 10 to the third, 10, up arrow, second, 3, equals L2. Okay, clear answer. All right, so let's see what it looks like. So second y equals, enter, and we'll put in L3, and then a zoom 9. Okay, the logs bends it in the other direction. Now that's kind of interesting. It just takes it the other way. Okay, so that means we need, now if you think of the ladder of powers, okay, you can think of the log as power 0. Now if you were going to do 1 over y, okay, that would be the rational, okay, or the inverse, okay, and that's -1. So you can think of the ladder of powers. They begin at -1. Here, let me go back up. Let me show you this thing here. Where the heck is this ladder of powers? It's up here somewhere. Okay, here they are. Okay, so you can square it. That's 2. Okay, now -1. That's a negative. That's 1 over y, or 1 over -1. You can do 1 over y. They don't list that here, but 1/2 is the square root, and 0 is considered to be the log. So if 0 is going too far between the original data, the log is bending it too much the other way. So I'm going to try something in between. I'm going to try square root. So I'll go back down to here. I'm trying to make it sound like it's too systematic. I always do logs first. If logs don't work, I try square root. That's it. Okay? You want something better than that. If square root doesn't work, if log doesn't work, square root doesn't work, then I'll do 1 over y, and then I'll 1 over the square root of y. That's about as far as I ever get. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to do the square root. I tried the log was no good. Now I do square root. So I go to stat and edit, and I'll go back to L3. L3 doesn't have anything useful for me. So I'm going to put in second square root of L2. Okay. All right. If I go up to the top, if I do L3 squared, I should get L2 back, and I do. Okay, so I know how to get it back when I need it. Okay, now let's do a scatter plot, and now I don't have to change anything. That's L1 and L3, so it's zoom 9, and I've got a really straight scatter plot there. Okay, so I'll run. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to clear the screen. I'll do stat calc 8. Okay, only what did I forget to do? I'm always forgetting stat. What am I doing? Stat calc 8 L1 comma L3 Okay, now I hit enter. All right, and that matches the numbers that I actually produced when I ran this thing when I was double checking all my mistakes. Okay, so now let's look at the residuals because we know it's the next thing we got to check. So I'm going to go to L3 and I'll do second and stat for list and 7 for res ID and enter and zoom 9. Okay, the residuals, it kind of look like one of those monsters maybe from Pacific Rim or something like that. I don't know. You can, you can let your imagination run crazy with you. Certainly the people that made that movie did. Anyway, but this is fine. Okay, this is fine. You could say it's a little fire hose effect. Nah, not really. Okay, we got an outlier down here or something. Don't go crazy. Okay. All right. So those guys are okay. We're going with this model. All right, we're going with this. So the square root of the estimated cost equals negative 0.1346. Here's our data here. If I get out of here, here's the data on the calculator. Rounded. Okay. Plus 3.174 times the width. Okay. So, in other words, for every increase of what? Of a foot in width, the estimated the square root of the estimated cost increases by $3.174. Okay. All right. So again, we want to get some what do we got to get? What does B want? B wants, the estimate for some particular measurement, 10.5 feet, I think. Okay, we can get that a couple of different ways. I'll go to y equals. I'm going to put in vars, 5 for statistics, EQ. Okay, the equation's in there, and I'm going to go down to y2, and I'm going to put in vars, y vars, function y1, enter, and I'm going to square it because I took the square root. So I'm going to square it to get it back, and I'll go here to the table, and let's arrow up here to where I don't know where our data went in. Okay, now you can see where the width is 0, the estimated cost. Now that sort of makes sense. Okay, that it should cost nothing when the width is nothing. Okay, but it doesn't include 1, 2, or 3. Let's look at 4. Okay, 4 is 157. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, let's look at 10. 10 is around 1,000. 1,000. Okay, not bad. All right, so we wanted to do 10.5. Now, we can't do 10.5 here. There's a couple different things we could do. We could go to the table set and set it to increment. Let's set the table to begin at 10 and increment in 0.5s. Okay, so we could do that. Or you just plug the number into your calculator or whatever. But this is other stuff you can do. You already know how to do that. I'm showing you something different, okay? All right. So here's 10.5 right there, 111.01. Or you could use the graph. Here, hold on. Let's do this. We got let me get rid of, I got to turn off the stat plot here. This is going to mess us up. Oh no! You know what I got to do? I got to put L1 and L3 back in, and then I can use the stat plot. Will straighten everything out for me. I can hit a zoom 9. Okay, and then I can just put in second and calc, and then a 10.5. That's 10.5 I wanted, and enter, and then there's my. Now, the only downside of this is okay, I went up to y2. Now it's not showing on the screen, but here's my y2, 1101. So that's my y2. y2 equals y1 squared, and so there's my 1101. So that's sort of cool. All right, and so let's see. I think we answered all the questions for that one. let's see. Yeah, that was it. Okay, and that's that.